All right. So I'm excited to be on with Dana. Dana and I had the interesting meeting of purpose. Her cousin connected us when Dana's book got published, and I had just recently started the First Wives Club, and she was like, you two need to connect. And so Dana and I did, and we found that both of us had a heart for marriage relationships, and both of us had a heart for women and wives. And so it was just an honor when Dana said that she would be a part of the LoveWalk pilot. And she and I are together on our journeys and encouraging one another and supportive. And so it's my pleasure to introduce Dana and get some feedback from her experience. But I want you to talk about marriage informants. I want people to understand what your commitment is and who you're focused on helping. And I want you to talk about your experience with the book that you wrote as well. So go ahead.
So hi, I'm Dana Alexander Thomas. I have been married for 11 years. So I created a team called the Marriage Informants. We do a podcast weekly where we talk about different things that happen in marriage. So we may talk about communication, we may talk about love language, we may talk about sex in marriage, forgiveness, and those are just some of the topics that we share. But the goal of it is to provide a support system and give information for wives who may be struggling in those areas. I also wrote a book or a journal, and my journal is called What is Marriage? A Wives Tale. And this is pretty much, it talks about what marriage is or what marriage should be. And it's for wives that may be not actually in a crisis, but may be headed towards a crisis, and it's still room to fix whatever's going on in their marriage, and it just gives them a different perspective. It also has affirmations in it and challenges that they can do with their spouse to get that connectedness back.
Awesome. So when I met Dana, I was already on this journey with the First Wives Club, and she and I think we met back in January and just really connected, or it might have been December, because I think you were our January host. Yeah, so yeah. I know you've been on Love Talk, and you have been on a lot of different things with me and a part of LoveWalk. And to me, I don't look at this as, she's my competition. I look at it as synergy, right? We both have a heart for women and a heart for wives, and Dana may be able to reach people that I can't reach. Dana's younger than me, for one, and so her lingo is going to be definitely different than mine. But I appreciate the fact that we've been able to bond together around that purpose. And so when I put out there about LoveWalk and about the I'm the Good Thing book, Dana was right in lockstep with me and was like, Denise, I want to be a part of it. So thank you for that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so now tell me a little bit about your impression about the I'm the Good Thing book, and then we'll talk about LoveWalk.
Okay, so when I first got in the mail, I was super excited to join the LoveWalk because I thought it was something that I needed. Even though I wrote this journal, my journal was something that I've done before a couple years ago. So I use I'm the Good Thing for maintenance, right? Because we all need maintenance. Marriage is not always smooth sailing. Sometimes you have to reflect and go back and redo some things. So when I first got the book and went through it, what stood out to me is that you Denise, put a part of yourself in the book. That makes it more relatable. It's like, okay, because some people, they may be like, why should I listen to her? Well, you put a piece of yourself in there, so it's like, okay, so she knows what she's talking about. Let me go through these 30 days and see what the outcome is. So that's what my impression was first. And then it also, awarded me the opportunity to do a little bit more self-reflection while working on my marriage at the same time, which is very, very important skill to have. And it provided a space for healthy, effective communication.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Wow, that was a lot. Dana, you was like boom, 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 boom. But that is awesome. I have to say, it's very rewarding, especially given your professional background, for you to say that this tool was something that you found as helpful. And you touched on maintenance, which to me is a big deal, right? Like
Yes.
to your point, we got to maintain our relationships. It's very important for us not to just think, oh, we good. We was good on year 5, because year 6, you still got to put in some work, you know, to help keep things fit and tight, as they say, right? And so healthy is important. Maintenance drives that healthiness. And so I just love that. All right, so now let's talk about LoveWalk, because LoveWalk comes alongside the book. It's some additional content. In my mind, I wanted the book to be able to stand alone, but I wanted to offer something else. And I'm still trying to craft it all out. And I think we have at least the right kind of bones in place to help create that accountability network and structure that's going to be helpful to a group of wives. But what was your impression?
So I think LoveWalk was good for people who don't really have anyone to talk to. I think writing goals down is good, but if you don't have anybody to process that with, or say, I did, or hold you accountable for that matter, especially if you're not going to therapy. So I think you serving as an accountability coach was very rewarding and very helpful. And then the feedback that you would give us if we got stuck.
Absolutely.
So
and
that's
y'all
what
gave one another too. That was interesting to me. Yeah, you know, because it wasn't always just about me chiming in as much as all the experiences that people had. Everybody was able to chime in.
And then you were able to get different perspectives too, which I thought made LoveWalk very, because it, you know, sometimes, I'm not saying that we're all closed-minded, but sometimes we feel my way is the only way. Well, then you have other women around you that may have went through the same thing, that may have tried things that you haven't tried, and it worked for them. So I thought that was also helpful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so now, what's your one sentence wisdom? Like, what would you leave people with? Not necessarily about I'm the good thing or LoveWalk, but just about relationships in general.
I think that what I would leave people with, or wives with, is that every love story is different. Every relationship is different. And where we don't compare, pretty much, because that's where we start to look at all the negatives in our marriage, because we're comparing it to somebody else. So just remember that what works for you is for you, and it may not work for someone else, but do what works for you, because everybody's marriage and love story is very different.
That is excellent advice. Like I always say, the Joneses filed bankruptcy last week, and you be trying to be like them.
Right.
You don't want to make that move. All right.
Yes.
So for the last time, tell people where they can find more information about Marriage Informants.
So you can find Marriage Informants. We're on Facebook. We go live on Thursdays, usually around 7 to 8 o'clock. Or you can check us out on Instagram, and it's the Marriage Informants.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Dana, for your time today. I really appreciate you.